YouTube, it's Tom back with another one for you. And this one is a continuation of Meet Your Strawman. About to get into some good shit with this. Talking about the armed forces and all that shit. And so I'm doing this shit in sections because it's like fucking 25 slides. That shit will be like a fucking hour. I know you guys can't handle a fucking hour. So we're going to break this motherfucker down into sections. So let's get right into this shit. So here it says the armed forces. The commercial company, which has chosen the name the United States Inc., has a large number of people employed in what it calls the United States Armed Services. Most countries have a similar arrangement. If you are asked, what is the purpose of these armed and trained people, how would you reply? It may surprise you to know that the people who employ them hire them to protect themselves, the employers, from their enemies. So they're hiring their own fucking militaries essentially is what's going on, and they're all fucking commercial as well. The United States military is not from here; they're foreign to us. They're a occupying military force that is on foreign land, which is our land. Okay, so that's who the fuck that they are, and not that they're all bad either, because there's some good people in different branches and shit like that. But you gotta understand that these motherfuckers are hiring the military forces to protect them. That's what they're doing. And then they're probably even staying on bases and shit like that, if I had to imagine. Right? So, not too startling an idea, you say. Yes, as you say, not too startling a revelation. So, but what may surprise you to discover is that the enemy is quite openly stated to be you. Right? Which it is. And so when you declare to be a U.S. citizen, essentially what you're saying is that you're an enemy of the state. And you can find that too as well in law. A U.S. citizen is an enemy of the state. So not only do they describe you as a monster, but also as their enemy. Because they are so heavily outnumbered, they are actually frightened of you and feel that they need armed bodyguards and heavy locked doors to keep them safe from the anger of ordinary people. If they ever find out how they are being manipulated and robbed in passing, they consider anybody who asks permission to do something which they are already entitled to do under common law to be a child of the state, and so of no consequence. Let's check out a possible scenario. You take some young people to a McDonald's restaurant and order several meals. When the food has been prepared, the manager says, I will make a deal with you. You can have your meals for free if you just take this loaded revolver and go over to the corner table and shoot that man dead. There will be no comeback as I am authorizing you to do it. Having blinked a few times, you ask why you shoot him in the head when he has never done anything to you. The manager says, he has never done anything to me either, but he has a lot of money in his wallet and I want to steal it, so just go shoot him dead. Okay. And this is what they're doing, mind you. Because when they offer you money to go to another country and kill people and shit, you already have money. You are the banker. They are the bankrupt organization. So they're giving you what's already yours to go do something that they want you to do because you don't know how to get it for yourself. You see what's happening here? But you already are the banker. Unlimited funds. Okay, because I'm telling you to do it for me. Sounds a bit mad. Well, it should do so as murder, as a criminal offense under common law, and somebody telling you to do it, and that is okay because they say to do it. It's fucking ridiculous. Nobody has the authority to tell you to murder somebody. Remember that. And you should fucking remember that, because you're the one that has to pay the consequences. It don't matter if another man told you that you can do it, because that shit is against the that shit is against the rules, bro. Just so you know that. So you're gonna be the one that has to pay the price for that. It isn't gonna be, and they will too. So nobody has the authority to tell you to murder somebody. We were born with exactly the same rights, and nobody has authority over anyone else, and most definitely not to be able to authorize murder. The owners of the commercial company, which amusingly think of as the government, stand in the same position as a manager of McDonald's and have the same lack of authority to breach common law by sending their armed employees into another country to kill the people there, people that have done them no harm, but who they want to rob, right? So for whatever it may be. All the recessions and wars are deliberately instigated by the people who gain financially from them. Did you ever wonder why vast sums of public money are spent every year on arms? Who owns the companies that makes the profit from selling these arms? Who gets the profit from rebuilding the places damaged or destroyed by our very own army? Who makes a profit from lending vast sums of imaginary money to a country which has been devastated by their unprovoked actions, creating an imaginary debt which can never be repaid? Since World War II, more than 4 million people have died as a result of commercial companies interfering in other countries, and every one of those deaths was a criminal offense under the common law. These companies believe that they and their employees are above the law, and so they do whatever they want. Yeah, right, bro. Yeah, fucking right, bro. So you see how they're purposely manipulating the people by giving them shit that's already theirs, which is you already have all the fucking money. The treasury works for you, but they're convincing you that you're poor, and then they're giving you fucking monopoly money to go do stupid shit like that. So from time to time, these companies demand that people be conscripted into their armed forces without their consent. Do you ever remember being asked if you would consent to such a press gang operations? If you were asked, did you say yes? And if you did it make it lawful to force the people who said no? Did you ever get the impression that these things are done with which breach your personal rights and demands of common law? Not only does invading other countries and murdering people there destroy them, but it also has a major negative impact on the people who join the armed forces, not being aware that their commercial employers are the real terrorists of this world. Do you feel that this is a little far-fetched? Well, it was reported on national TV on the 6th of September 2010 that ex-Army Chief General Richard Danick claimed that the vested interest rather than national security decided military spending on the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. All major wars are carried out for commercial reasons, although the fact will never be admitted publicly. And that's absolutely fucking true. Absolutely true. Fly over to Afghanistan, flying over fucking tons of fucking poppy back in these fucking giant ass planes and shit like that. This is what they were doing. Exactly what they were doing. So let me get over to the next slide. So here, Michael Rivero has put together a concise statement on the situation in America which impacts upon the whole world. His statement is that this web, so here it shows you the URL. So I know that many people have a great deal of difficulty with understanding just how many wars are started for no other purpose than to force private central banks into nations. And I mean, you know that too, because when you look at all the wars that are happening, it's always happening in countries that don't want the central banks there. And there was only a couple left, and they pretty much are fucking taking over everything with their fucking fake ass money. So, just how many wars are started for no other purpose than to force central private banks onto nations. So let me share a few examples in order that you can understand why the U.S. government is engaged in so many wars against foreign nations. There's ample precedent for this. The United States fought the War of the American Revolution primarily over the current act of King George III, which forced the colonists to conduct their business only with printed banknotes borrowed from the Bank of England at interest. After the revolution, so people are fucking agreeing to this and selling out their fucking people for fake ass fucking monopoly money, because they can just go into a computer and type you over fucking 100 million fake fucking credits if they want to. You can do the same fucking thing, but you don't know how to do that because you won't study and you want somebody else to just give it to you. So you're gonna end up in a situation where you're gonna do whatever these fucking clowns tell you to do to get money that's already yours because you don't want to do the work. So you both pay the price, and everybody will pay the price for this shit. So the new United States adopted a radically different economic system in which the government issued its own value-based money, so that the private banks like the Bank of England were not siphoning off the wealth of the people through interest-bearing notes. The refusal of King George III to allow the colonies to operate an honest money system, which freed the ordinary man from the clutches of the money manipulators, was probably the prime cause of the revolution. So, let me fucking go over to the next slide here. So, but bankers are nothing if not dedicated to their schemes to acquire your wealth. And they know how easy it is to corrupt the leaders of a nation. Just one, and so they're fucking compromising everybody through different ways. They're using prostitutes, fucking child sex slaves and shit like that to lure these people into fucking compromising situations to get them compromised. And then for these people to try to save face and save their own little fucking petty ass corny lives, they'll sell out the fucking lives of everybody else in the fucking nation. What a bunch of fucking coward ass pussies. That's what the fuck it is. Bunch of coward fucking cunts. So just 1 year after Mayor Rothschild had uttered his infamous, and if anybody wants to smoke, y'all niggas could see me whenever the fuck, bro. Just so you know. So, and had uttered his infamous statement: "Let me issue and control the nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws." And that's how that works. So the bankers succeeded in setting up a new private central bank called the First Bank of the United States, largely through the effort of Rothschild's chief U.S. supporter, Alexander Hamilton. Founded in 1791, by the end of its 20-year charter for the First Bank of the United States had almost ruined the nation's economy while enriching the bankers. Congress refused to renew the charter, signaling their intention to go back to state a issue value-based currency on which the people said no interest at all to any banker. So this resulted in a threat from Nathan, whatever the fuck, Rothschild against the U.S. government. Either the application for renewal of the charter is granted, or the United States will find itself involved in the most disastrous war. Right? Which probably would have just happened on TV anyway. I don't think these pussies really have the balls to come get the smoke like that. But they'll show a war on TV, fuck up, fuck with the fucking economy and dumb shit like that. But these motherfuckers really are not coming to do nothing crazy like that. They're not. They just fucking scare everybody with that shit. And they got everybody thinking that they only live once. So everybody's trying to fucking, save their one little fucking petty ass life, and they'll do whatever these cowards tell them to do. All right, crazy. See what happens when you let these motherfuckers take over the education system? They completely brainwash the whole fucking nation. So Congress still refused to renew the charter for the First Bank of the United States, whereupon Nathan Mayer Rothschild railed these to teach these impudent Americans a lesson, bring them back to a colonial status, which is what they're doing. And colonization is not legal, right? So they're paying these fucking corny ass military forces to occupy nations that are not theirs, colonizing them, which is not fucking legal either. All the contracts are over, and these motherfuckers don't want to leave, so they can die. So financed by the Rothschilds-controlled Bank of England, Britain then launched the War of 1812 to recolonize the United States force and bring it back into slavery to the Bank of England, or to plunge it into so much debt that the people would be forced to accept a new private central bank. The plan worked. Even though the War of 1812 appeared to be won by the United States Congress, was forced to grant a new charter for yet another private bank, issuing the public currency as loans at interest. And the Second Bank of the United States, once again, private bankers were in control of the nation's money supply and cared not who made the laws or how many British American soldiers had to die for it. All for this fucking monopoly money, bro. These niggas will not let it go. Will not let it go. I challenge you to go Google the color of monopoly money and then Google the color of U.S. currency. Tell me what you see. Once again, the nation was plunged into debt, unemployment, and poverty through the plundering of the private central bank. And in 1832, Andrew Jackson successfully campaigned for his second term as president under the slogan, "Jackson and no bank." True to his word, Jackson succeeded in blocking the renewal of the charter for the Second Bank of the United States. Gentlemen, I too have been a close observer of things of the Bank of the United States. I have had men watching you for a long time, and I am convinced that you have used the funds of the bank to speculate in the breadstuffs of the country. When you won, you divided the profit among yourselves, and when you lost, you charged it to the bank. You tell me that if I take the deposits from the bank at an annual its charter, I shall ruin tens of thousands of families. That may be true, gentlemen, but that is your sin. If I let you go on, you will ruin 50,000 families, and that would be my sin. So you are a den of vipers and thieves. I am determined to root you out, and by the eternal God bringing his fist down on the table, I will root you out. Andrew Jackson, shortly before ending the charter of the Second Bank, from the original minutes of the Philadelphia Committee of Citizens, sent to meet with President Jackson. Shortly after the President Jackson, the only American president to actually pay off the national debt, ended the Second Bank of the United States, there was an attempted assassination which both pistols used by the assassin failed to fire. Mind you, a lot of this shit is all just a fucking act too. A lot of these motherfuckers are really just acting. A lot of these niggas are really just actors. if not everybody. So all these fucking assassinations and all these fucking corny ass things that these motherfuckers do, this shit is all fake. So of course, the President's Day American public school system is as subservient to the bankers' wishes to keep certain items of history from you, just as the corporate media is subservient to Monsanto's wishes to keep the dangers of genetically modified foodstuffs from you, and the global warming cults wishes to conceal from you the fact that the Earth has actually been cooling for the last 16 years. Thus, it should become as little surprise that much of the real reasons of the event for the Civil War are not well known to the average American. And you know, because we only know what they're teaching everybody. And they're getting everybody from super young as children, kindergarten and up, starting with the brainwashing. So when the Confederacy constitutionally seceded from the United States, the bankers once again saw the opportunity for a rich harvest of debt and offered to fund Lincoln's efforts to bring the South back to the Union by force, but at 30% interest. Lincoln remarked that he would not free the black man by enslaving the white man to the bankers. So using his authority as president, he issued a new government currency called the greenback. So this was a direct threat to the wealth and power of the central bankers of the United States, who responded quickly. If this mischievous financial policy, which has its origin in North America, becomes entrenched that the government will issue its own money without cost, it will pay off debts without debt, it will have all the money necessary to carry on its commerce, it will become prosperous to a degree which, without precedent in history of the world, the brains and the wealth of all the countries to migrate to North America, that country must be destroyed, or it will destroy every monarchy on the planet. So again, this is all really just part of their fucking games anyway. These motherfuckers really ain't getting down like that. A lot of this shit is just fucking theater, stage shit, and they want people to be scared of them and shit like that. When in all reality, they're outnumbered so fucking dramatically that if any of this shit really ever happened, they would probably get smoked in a heartbeat, to be 100% real with you. They don't even have the forces like that. So the London Times, responding to Lincoln's decision to issue government greenbacks to finance the Civil War, rather than agree to private bankers' loans at 30%. In 1872, New York bankers sent a letter to every bank in the United States urging them to fund any newspapers which opposed government-issued money. Dear sir, it is advisable to do all in your power to sustain such prominent daily and weekly newspapers as will oppose the issuing of greenback paper money, and that you will also hold patronage or favors from all the applicants who are not willing to oppose the government's issue of money. Let the government issue the coin and the banks issue the paper money of the country. To restore the circulation of the government issue of money will be to provide the people with money, and will therefore seriously affect the individual profit as bankers and lenders. It will not do to allow the greenback, as it is called, to circulate as money any length of time, as we cannot control that. Slavery is likely to be abolished by the war power and shadow slavery destroyed. This is I and my European friends are in favor of slavery. Is but the owning of labor, and carries with it the care of the laborer, while the European plan led on by England, it is capital to control labor by controlling the wages. This can be done by controlling the money. Now, you never needed these fucking bankers, just so you know, and they have no more authority to issue currency than you do. That's why, if you guys want to get in on the fucking how to make the money orders and shit like that, what that is you dealing directly with the fucking treasury. You don't need these fucking bankers. You turn the fucking bills into a money order, send it right to the treasury. You never needed the bankers. They just middlemen. So, and when you start using them as middlemen, you give them your social and shit, they're jacking your fucking trust right off the rip. That's how that shit works. So, it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these fucking assholes. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.